Holidays is on our radar today. Managing Director and CEO Kavinder Singh has resigned with effect May 16 and Manoj Bhatt has been appointed. Parikshit is in conversation with Anish Shah, the Group CEO and Managing Director at Mahindra Group. Parikshit, over to you.
Well, thank you very much. Important changes at the Mahindra Group, and they've had this policy of internal rotation over the last few months. We've seen a slew of important leadership changes, even at Tech Mahindra some time back. So let's speak about all of this to Anish Shah, the Managing Director and CEO of the Mahindra Group. Mr. Shah, give us a sense of the thinking behind elevating some of these internal leaders within the Mahindra Group to key positions.
So, Parikshit, over the last 3 years, we've put a lot of effort into grooming talent. We put in place some marquee leadership programs at various levels and career paths for all our leaders, because we feel that grooming talent is one of our most important priorities. And in that context, we really have a very good set of moves that we've announced today, where our Group CFO moves on as CEO of Mahindra Holidays, a listed entity, one that has tremendous potential. We're going to be investing a lot in holidays. We're looking at tripling the number of resorts that we have, the number of rooms that we have, and thereby going up 5x from a revenue standpoint. And Manoj is very well positioned to lead that. There are a number of very strong leaders in Mahindra Holidays, which will enable strong growth of this business. In addition, we've got Amar Barua joining us as Group CFO, someone who comes in with a very strong background as a finance leader and a strong international experience as well. He was our head of group strategy, and as part of the internal moves, very well positioned to take over as Group CFO. He also has been heading investor relations for us, and therefore very conversant with all of the discussions with investors. We've also announced a few other changes, which include our CFO from Lifespaces moving to Holidays, CFO from Sustain, a solar business, moving to Lifespaces, and we will soon be announcing an internal leader joining as CFO of Sustain as well. So these are moves that are really geared towards grooming talent, giving them bigger opportunities, broader exposure, and that's part of what we're doing in the group, which is to bring in strong talent and to help position Mahindra as the place for the best talent in the industry.
Right. So, Mr. Shah, you are saying that you have an internal program within the Mahindra Group to groom leaders. Even before your appointment, at least 2 to 3 years ahead of that, we had often heard that there was a training program or a mentoring program that was on for at least 50 to 60 key executives in the Mahindra Group. Could you give us a sense of how many leaders, how many senior executives currently are being groomed for future roles, and how is the company trying to do that?
So there, Parikshit, we have a future leaders program, which is targeted to having our executive band leaders move to the strategic band, which is the highest band in the company or across the group. And we typically have about 25 leaders every year as part of our Future Shapers. We will be launching the 3rd edition of it very soon. It's an annual program. It's one that actually is a very detailed one across the entire year, which includes a week at Harvard University and a number of interventions that are targeted to building different skill sets with these leaders, and then continues even after the year is over as we continue to monitor Future Shapers, plan their career paths, have specific interventions from a learning standpoint. The second program we have is MALT, which is Mahindra's Accelerated Leadership Track. And there we've just started the 3rd year of that program. There we've got 30 leaders come in, and these are leaders who are mid-management, who we are preparing for the executive band. And there again, we've seen great success. We have Carnegie Mellon managing a good part of that program for us, but there again, it's a 1-year track that continues beyond that. And we are seeing very strong candidates come in, be able to take those roles. And more important than the learning, it's also the career planning we do for them. And the kind of moves we've discussed today are ones that allow for that career plan for to take on broader responsibilities. And as they do that, they get prepared for bigger leadership roles across the group.
Right. So let's just speak about some of these businesses where you've announced these changes. Let's start with Mahindra Holidays and Resorts. You're saying that you're expecting and working towards a 5x a growth in revenues from this business. How do you plan to expand it? What is the kind of growth that you expect in this fiscal?
So we are planning to grow our rooms by 3x, which is the number of resorts that we have. And that will lead to a number of other revenue streams as well, which will result in a 5x growth in revenue. There's a very aggressive plan to look at establishing resorts all across the country. And we have a number of different sites identified. So we are operating at a very, very different pace than we have been before. And I would give Kavinder a lot of credit for setting that up and for setting up a very strong team to take this business forward.
Right. How much would you be investing in this business in terms of capex allocation for the next fiscal?
So more details on that to come, Parikshit. Being a listed entity, I will let that entity talk about it as they finalize the exact numbers over time. All I can say it is one that will have substantial capital that goes into the company. And as we've seen with all our growth gems, there are a number of investors who are willing to put in capital with us as well. So that may be a potential path that we could look at for this entity as well. The demand is extremely high. And most importantly, Mahindra Holidays is positioned extremely well in being able to provide the best holidays for families in India. And the responses we get from our members who go to resorts, we have about 100 resorts in India, is absolutely outstanding on a consistent basis. And our view is that if we can maintain that level of quality in providing family vacations, we can really serve a need that is very strong out there. And we've just seen that that need expand significantly over the last 12 to 18 months.
Okay, and finally, sir, just to ask you about Mahindra Lifespaces, where you've also announced changes. Are there specific plans to increase the business here as well?
Yes, there are. Lifespaces has already seen a significant jump in market cap over the last 12 to 18 months there again. And it has been very aggressive in the market in terms of growing. It's part of our 5x challenge for growth gems. Both Holidays and Lifespaces are our growth gems, and we expect a 5x growth from them in the next 5 to 7 years.
All right. My final question on the auto business. How do you expect to finish this fiscal in terms of your electric vehicle plans? Could Mahindra prepone the launch of certain models?
We will likely be slightly ahead of the plan that we've talked about. And the born electric SUVs that we've revealed earlier are coming together really well. I've test driven 3 of them, and they're just outstanding. So I'm waiting for them to be launched in the market.
All right. We've run out of time, but thank you very much for joining us, Mr. Shah, giving us your outlook for the Mahindra Group, telling us about the key leadership changes and the thinking behind that. With that, it's back to you in the studios.
Hi, Parikshit. Thanks a lot for that. So that's about the conversation in the Mahindra stable. A lot of strategic changes that the company has made with regards to management. Let's see how the group and the various group companies function from here on going forward. Growth is what everyone is eyeing. Just a word on the market.